Welcome to Trading Lounge and the Australian report for Wednesday, May 18. Just starting on the weekly chart here, just 2 points. One is the stochastics is still like pointing down, hasn't turned. Obviously they're lagging indicators. And the other sort of more interesting point I think is the top over here was 7,272. And that's the current price we are at the moment. So it's really playing a part from this old high over here. That's sort of where it's coming from at that point. So the trend is still down according to indicators, and we're at that balance point. The 72 is a real balance point from the old high over here. So when we approached up here, it's just normal to expect a correction, across an old high over here. And as we say, double tops are never the end of the trend. It's just a matter of figuring out, the correction that's happening here. And we know that this move here is up in 3 waves, this move here. So that means technically we should take out the low here. The only reason we wouldn't take out the low here is that we're in a triangle pattern coming across here in some way, but otherwise we should take that low out here. So the 72 being the balance point, this is a point where the market can turn down from here. Let's just move into the daily and then into the tick chart. So in a bit of a nutshell, we've been looking at it. First of all, we can count it down as 5 waves here. We can go 1 and 2 and 3 to here and 4 to here and 5 to here. So we can count it as a low in place. But as I mentioned, it hasn't really taken out this low here. But what we wanted to do though is we wanted to look at this being a rally here, the same as the US markets. And we're looking in a nutshell as an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave in this regard. And that will be 5 waves, that will be 3 waves, and that will be 5 waves. So we're waiting for 5 waves in this move. Now, if we were going to turn bullish, we want those 5 waves to complete. And then after 5 waves, there's always a pullback. So that will leave us the space just simply to go long above the top. That's if we're bullish, but bullish, we still need to be careful because we could be in an A, B, C, D, and E over here, some sort of triangle pattern across here. So not as easy as it looks. So I'm just going to go from the daily chart to the 100 ticks to cut to the chase and just really focus on that 1 and 2 that we've been looking at over the past week. Here, let me get in a little more data. 5 might be just okay. So that's the low. So we just straighten that up there, and we're looking for, well, actually this count takes us to 1 and 2, so it's a little bit different, but wave 1 and wave 2 there. Let's put that in. And so the first part of the move as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 was pretty nice and simple. I'm a little bit unsure about the wave B. In some cases I think that it can go over here for that, but the reason I'm putting it here for is a bit of a timing thing really, because I'm just going to go left field here for a moment, and one of the cleanest counts that we've got to the upside is the US banks. So with the US banks, their ETF sector is XFL, and the same thing's happening here. We've got wave 1 here. We can have a low in place, I understand that, but we need to work past this being the A wave, the B wave, and the C wave up here. Once we've got those from B to C here, once we've got those 5 waves here, which we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Once we're past that, then we can look at being on the long side. But we have to, first of all, reach the top, and then we have to, I won't go into a lot of detail here, that we have to kind of figure out if we're on the short side or the long side from that point. I won't go into that. You can watch the US stock video for that. But the reason for pointing this out, it was quite clear that the A wave is here, then a nice B wave here, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I think in the next session we're going to get a top in here, and then we're going to turn lower. Now we could just be an A wave, a B wave and a C wave and turn lower here and then make a new high here, and in that case we're going to be on the bullish side, and we'll probably sharpen that up to the next low down here, but that's another story. But just so you understand, from B to C we're looking for 5 waves. On this sector here, this is the cleanest 5 waves I've got coming from the banks, even on the S&P. So for this market here, and then looking at the S&P here, I'm looking at the S&P 500, the A wave, the B wave, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, one more high here as well. So I mean, it's a little bit sort of shonky here in some of the count, but this would create the timing. Now timing doesn't have to be perfect with the US because we're out of sync and so on and so on, but yeah, so in today's session or tomorrow's session, or even in the morning tomorrow, because if that pushes up and turns lower, then that's something that we're going to have to go through. And we're also approaching Wednesdays as well, and normally in a bull market I would say Wednesday has a move down and then a move up like that, sort of a V-shaped day I call Wednesday. But in this market we would look at it going the other way, so to speak. So anyway, I just wanted to show you the S&P and where I'm getting the count from in terms of coming from the finance sector, but just not the finance sector, also the equity sector as well. So they're all doing the same thing. I'm just finding the cleanest count. So with that in mind, that's why I put wave B over here to get wave 3 here and then wave 4 here, and then looking for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up here. So we'll be, and this brings me back to the 72. So we talked about the 72 on the weekly chart. So this is a real kind of I love 72 anyway, but that's another story. But this is where I think that we could fail here. But the interesting thing is once we've got those 5 waves here, so in a session or two, we'll be able to work out if we're going to be, because even after these 5 waves here, we're going to get some sort of correction that will come back to support, and support really is, well, all of these tops here, that would have to be sort of the resistance that became the support. So the support's going to be through here somewhere for that anyway, and then the market will push up from that point. So we have to work out the bearish side for this. That's just looking at the bullish side, because after all we are in a bullish trend going up. But the other thing too is that when we have corrections in the market, in a bullish market, and I'll look at the bearish market, when the market moves up here and then it has a correction, somebody takes profit big enough or gets accumulated enough, and then it takes out all the stops. So the A wave is normally quite sharp, and then you have the B wave, and then the C wave is a bit more lazier in a bull market, and then you go up again like that, So in a bear market, the opposite would occur. So you have the move down and short covering and triggering stops, and folks think that it's going up, so it goes up quite strong, like this A wave has gone up here strong, and the angle of that, we'll just look at it like that in simple terms, and then we would have the B wave, and then we'll have the C wave being a little bit lazier. So would that be lazier on the angle? And we would have to say yes. So it's giving me the personality of an A and a B and a C wave here. If this was going to be wave 1 here and wave 2 here, then wave 3 would be, it'd be as strong as this is the third wave in here, in the middle here. It'd be starting to look like that. I know that markets don't need to have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. They could be building as 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and a series of 1s and 2s, because a market could normally have like its 5 wave structure here like this. It'll either be this one that we're looking at as 5 waves, or we get a situation where we get a series of things going on like 1s and 2s building. I'm sort of exaggerating, but 1s and 2s where these pullback here overlaps the top of that structure here, and this one will overlap that one, and then in those things that you're kind of going to be building up to a bigger move at that point. So it's sort of got ones and twos and ones and twos, but I'm not really seeing that. We could look at it like that, but it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here, no overlap there in that case. So I think we're on the right track, and the personality is showing us that. So we really need to find our way in on the short side. So we could look at a trend line. So when you normally get a trend line coming through, and if you wanted to short the trend line, you need to use the classic trading level. You don't need to do anything, but it's helpful because you'll get the same thing. It will migrate from being support to resistance, and then this is the point here where you can go short at, because it's rejecting the trend line at that point. Of course, if you could see 5 waves coming down in this first wave here, then you could short the retest here. If you can figure 5 waves coming out here, if this is 5 waves coming down, it might not get you might get you into trouble. But if you can pick 5 waves here, then you can short the ABC here for this. It might only give you an ABC, but you'll need to protect your losses at that point. But having that 5 waves there is a really good start. And you might get the first 5 waves in this little move, because that's going to be 5 waves. So you might get the first wave. So it might be like this. You might get the first little 5 waves here and go, okay, ABC, I'll take that. I'll go long here and get it at that point. I know I'm showing you something that's like fantastic, but this is 5 waves here. You might get the first 5 waves in that, you know. So yeah, anyway, by tomorrow we'll have this top in place, and this looking here, you know, moving here in place. Now CBA moved up quite quickly yesterday. I'm just going to bring that to the side. I'll need to clean that up. So CBA moved up quite nicely yesterday, well, quite quickly yesterday. So it doesn't look like a wave 2, does it? I mean, I know that it was reluctantly wanting to come down here. It was like, oh, you know, it was just sort of waiting for time. So there could be an ABC pattern at this point, and we could just continue to the upside if the market's going to be bullish. So let's just go into the 100 ticks and just check on this. So it's looking bullish at this point. I can say that much. So from the low here, as wave A being nice and sharp, and it is giving a nice big third wave up here, I have to say. So it does make a nice third wave rather than a wave C. So I could see it bullish, but I can't really turn bullish just yet either on this, because I would need wave 4 and wave 5 to finish off, and then once we've got that, then we would have 1, 2, 3 here, and this would be 4, and then we would have 5. But I probably wouldn't even chase that up, because the extensions in the third wave here, I've counted that as the B wave here, because it's kind of got a nice 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here, then an ABC here and here. So anyway, the third wave has got the extension in it. So wave 1 and wave 5, wave 5 here won't be very, it wouldn't be very long. It would just come sort of from here to, it'll come from probably here to here or something like that. And then there would be an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave here at that point. So we wouldn't, if it was going to be bullish, we won't chase it on this top here. We'll wait for that to play out, and then we'll basically buy this pullback down here at that point, because otherwise you'll just get trapped at that stage, you know. But let's see how this plays out first. But yeah, I have to say that this does look bullish at this point for CBA. Alrighty, so iron ore, I'm on 100 ticks rather than the daily chart, because here we're trying to figure out if we're going to be bearish or bullish in this market. And as I mentioned before, it'll get itself into a corner where it will come out being bearish or bullish. So my case for being bullish is that we've got 5 waves here, then an A and a B and a C wave here, and then we come down for the C wave here. We don't have a new high here, so it's hard to view that as some truncated 5th wave of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. So it's a bit difficult to do that. It may be the case, and just throwing me, but the first leg down here appears to be corrective. Now, if that's corrective, it would make all of this corrective as well. Now, could easily have made a mistake, but I don't see where at this point. And so an A, B, C for the A wave, and then a B wave and a C wave here for wave 2. Then I was looking at this as wave 1 and 2 here. And then we can see we've got little 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 here. So we've got 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here. So I'm looking for an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave back for wave 2. And if we take this top out here, technically that one, but we could work on that one. If it took that top out there, then we'd be bullish at that point. However, if I've made a mistake down here and we need to look at this as wave 1 here in some way, and wave 2 here, and wave 3, 4, and 5 here, and that sort of as an impulse wave to the downside as wave 1, then this would be the A wave, the B wave, and the C wave right here for wave 2. So that could be the top of wave 2 there, and then we just come further down here. Now, and I'm happy with that too, but I'm not going to do that until I can confirm it. So confirming it would be taking this low out here. I mean, I've said before that finding the 800 as support or resistance would be, would be the decider. But we could also use the wave structures as well to help us, refine that situation. So that's where we are at the moment for iron ore. And the other point here too is that we could also just be in an A wave here, a B wave here, and a C wave down here for that, and then go up from that point. But we'll get to that when we get to, if we have to get to, we'll keep an eye on that when we get to that. Rightio, so you're looking at the stocks, is not much chop at the moment, as I mentioned to you before. This little rally in BHP here, it looks corrective, so I'm still expecting a move down in that case, so I'm waiting for that. The same with Rio here, looking for a move down in this space. And the same with FMG here as well, to have if it's a B wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it could be bearish as well. But once again, I don't really have, from the top here, I don't have the first move down here as 5 waves. It's in 3 waves if that's the case, So, but I only have 3 waves back up here as well. So yeah, there's a few things that are amiss here, but look, I'm just going to be patient, and if we're going to go long, it's going to be on the $20 mark here as a nice tested support. So even though I don't know when I don't know the wave count, I'll just reverse back to price, and that sort of saves me. We also want to have a look at while we're on that sort of note, we'll have a look at Woodside here for a moment. So natural gas was up about over 3% last night from memory. So what we were looking for here with Woodside, as you may recall, wave 3 here with an A wave, a B wave, and then a C wave down here. The C wave, we're looking for the 38.2% retracement level, so we've touched on that nicely. And between wave B and wave C here, we've got a nice 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 here. And then in the 5th wave here, you can also count 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 in here. So we talked about going long, I think it was yesterday. So we've been triggered in long, and we're keeping the stop under here. So today we should see that move up a little bit further at this point. So I think we're okay. Once again, you can see how sharp the A wave is, and then the C wave is a bit lazier. So that's also handy as well. We do want to see increased volume. We don't need to see increased volume in wave 1, but we do need to see it come in due course. So the other one that we're looking at is Stantos on that side. We've got a nice level at $8 here. So I didn't know the wave count that clearly here. I'm just sort of going off the rest of the world. So it looks like we've been triggered in here. We're going to leave the stop here. Let's just see how it settles at this point. I mean, it's a positive, even though it's got a little island reversal there, it is a positive thing that it took out that top there. That it gives it a bullish stance at that point. If it stayed under that, that would have been a problem, but it's looking quite good as it stands, even though I don't understand it. All I'm looking at here is natural gas, and looking at this here weaving its way across here. It was resistance, it got hammered here and got hammered here, made itself above here, you know, it's been struck, it's really on the battle line here now, it's sticking to it like glue, you know, and it should find itself as support here. And if that's the case, we can look at the next level, which, I mean, there's going to be number 9 here, which is the medium level, but it'll be all about the 10 at that point. So hopefully we can go for a nice little journey in that vein there. So over to gold. Now with gold here, we can count this down as 5 waves here, and then we can count this down as 5 waves. I think the best fit is, unless we go for a WXY situation, which would shorten the length down here, and we can talk about that if we get down to here, but there's 5 waves here and 5 waves here. So we could look at it as an A, B, and C, and we're done here and finished. But otherwise, we need to look for a bounce, because you always get a bounce off a number with zeros in it. And so we're just looking at that bounce, and we can go in and look at that bounce there. So I was thinking the bounce here, it looks like we've got wave 1 or wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here with an ABC here. So I still think that we've got a little bit further to go up here in this before going down at that point. Yeah, we'll see how we go with that. And US spot gold here. We're looking at, you know, there can be a low in here as well for this, the way that it's all counted. We can have wave B up here, we can have an A and B and C wave here for that. I could work that in there, because if GDX has got, yeah, anyway, I won't go into that now, I'll just wait and see. But anyway, we're bouncing off some double zeros here, so that's what we're doing. It does appear that we can count that up as 5 waves as well. So it looks a bit bearish on this swing here, I have to say. I hope we do go up to this point and then come back down again, but we'll see. It looks like it could just be wave 1 here and wave 2 here, and then coming down for 3, 4, and 5 coming into this space. So need to be a little careful. But I did have a quick look at that, and it does appear to be an impulse wave, but so does that. So does the B wave. So a little bit of a question mark on this, but I'm just going to wait. I'm not making any main decisions on this. We'd expected to bounce off a big number like that coming down. It's just natural, and we'll just observe it for a little while. And that will leave Newcrest Mining in the same boat as well. We've been looking for, we can count 5 waves here, we can count 5 waves here. We're looking for a move back up into the up here. That's all good. Now that it's moved up there a little bit, we can look to short that under there. You could probably take it under that second bar there as well, but I won't get too close to it at this stage, because it could be an A wave and a B wave back and then a C wave up. So it still needs to, well, can rally a little bit further, but obviously the $25 mark is a big number. As you can see, it carries some weight, a medium level in this regard. So we're looking for that to move up there. If I'm totally wrong, we need to be long above this wave 2 here. So until I'm wrong, we'll just continue with this journey to the downside. Rightio, the Australian dollar, it's doing the same thing as the S&P 500 and the ASX. So we're looking at the A wave, the B wave, and then 1 and 2, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the third wave, fourth wave. So we're going to be looking at 1, 2. We're going to look for a little impulse wave up here, 5 waves. So we can look at that as wave 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 5 to move up there. If you want to short the smallest possible contract up there, that's good. Otherwise, once we get up there, it's going to come back and bounce onto the 70. When it bounces on the 70, that will probably leave 5 waves in this move. If that is 5 waves there, then you can short the ABC pattern. If you can't see that, well, then you could short the lower wave B here, and then we'll also half a position. So half a position, and then a full position under the 70 with the classic trading levels pattern, confirming that the 70 has been rejected, and then we will be moving down further. But obviously we're going to be bouncing off there, so I won't get too excited drawing a line down there. But we first of all need to confirm this as an ABC pattern, which we're trying to confirm with US banks, all the tech stocks, even Bitcoin, even the cryptos, everything basically, not, well, just about everything that's got this particular pattern anyway. So let's see if we get up here. So shorting it up here is very high risk. because we don't know anything just yet, but the smallest possible position once that comes in, if you can count 5 waves here, and then you can count 5 waves in the last 5th wave, then you can short it at the top. But if you can't do that, then you have to wait for it to drop, and then we'll look for the ABC and we'll go short under that point, and then we'll go short under here. So that will be that. Alrighty, thanks for tuning in. Cheers.